Hello, everyone. Roger here with Creating with Your Spiritual Universe. And I just wanted to talk today about ridicule and how ridicule and teasing and shaming is used to control us, to keep us from speaking our truth, or to keep us from doing the things that will help us work together on this planet. And it's a very powerful weapon. Once upon a time, if you acted in a way that was unfavorable to those in power, they'd just put you away on a deserted island somewhere and keep you away, isolate you from everyone. But today, they've found a much more cheaper and probably more effective way of doing it. And that is through ridicule. And it stops you from, or it's meant to keep you from speaking your truth, from expressing yourself, your true self, from you being the authentic you that you're meant to be when you came here, when you came to this planet, when you were born. And it starts off very young. It starts off from the time you're able to watch television, from the time you're a toddler. You turn on your television, or your parents turn the television on for you, and it starts. The kind of foods that you should like to eat, the kind of clothes that you should wear, the type of person you should be so that you can be cool. And it starts there, and the machine really gets ramped up when you start school. Because if you don't look like everyone else, and you don't speak like everyone else, then you are singled out, and you are ridiculed. And the mechanism is there to encourage it, because when I was growing up in school, if you got ridiculed, you're told, oh, deal with it. That's part of living, being in life. You just have to deal with it. So you set up a mechanism where you place yourself in situations where you don't stand up, where you conform, where you don't create, you don't use your individuality because you don't want to be singled out. And the school system caters to that. Everything is uniform. You get in line to eat. You get in line to go to the next course. It's just like a prison. If you look at a prison and how it's conducted, and you look at your normal public school system, they're identical. They keep you conformed, keep you restricted, keep you from stepping out of line. And so ridicule and shaming is a very, very important part of that. And so as you grow up, and when you grow up and you become an adult, you are conditioned at this point to do what it is that those in power that set up your school system want you to do, and for you to speak on behalf of whatever is going on, but never speak against it. And so a good example of this is the spraying of our skies. The spraying of our skies with by airplanes with contrails or chemtrails. I remember noticing this for the first time in 2006. And I thought it was pollen season, because what was falling onto I got a new car, and it was red, and I could notice these bright yellow to dark yellow spots on the car. And I didn't know what they were, so I asked around, and a friend of mine says, oftentimes when the jet, there's an imbalance in an airplane, and they have to dump fuel, they'll dump fuel, and it'll look like that. So I said, oh, okay. A few months passed, and I still saw that on the car. So I started really looking, and said, what is this that's coming down on the car? And it shows on your car because the paint is bright. So anything on it, if it's red or white or any of those colors, you can really see this. So then I discovered the chemtrail conspiracy. And those people who were talking about this were considered conspiracy theorists. That is one of the terms they use. They will find a term and they will turn it into a derogatory word or phrase, and they will put anyone who goes or who is pointing out something that is not right, something that is unjust, and they will throw them in that category. We see it happen all the time. But this is a very good example because everybody, unless you're under a rock, you know about the chemtrail so-called conspiracy. So I noticed, I started to read about it, and I started to really see that there was a big opposition from corporations and government against people who were pointing out that our skies are being sprayed with these chemicals and particulates that are harmful to the food we eat, they're harmful to us, and harmful to the environment, and harmful to all the other animals and beings that we share this planet with. And so there was a very concerted effort by governments and corporations through the media to really discredit people who are pointing this out. And I thought to myself, why are they making such a big deal of really, really opposing these people? These people are just conspiracy theories. And so the reason why they do that is because these people are not conspiracy theorists at all. They're more like canaries in the coal mine, warning us of something that is going on that is not right, that is secretive, and that is dangerous. So all those that are in control and are doing this, of course, they don't want you to actually pay attention to the message. So they shoot the messenger and they give you the gun so you can shoot the messenger too. And my message to you is this: don't pay attention to the messenger at all. Pay attention to the message. Don't believe everything you hear. Pay attention to the message and look for evidence of what the message is pointing to, because that is the whole point of discrediting the messenger, to get you or to get us to not look at the message. And so I noticed that there was a concerted attack and a lot of name calling against those who were pointing this particular issue out. And as I began to really, really look into it, I read articles. I even read one recently. 77 scientists did studies and they found nothing in any of these trails. Well, first of all, we don't know what they studied. Second of all, it's important for you to know that scientists work for the government or they work for corporations. Those are their bosses, and they are not going to publish anything that goes against those who are writing their paychecks. And if they do, that study is hidden and buried. We see it happen all the time. The tobacco industry has done it. Many other industries have done it. The pharmaceutical industry has been caught doing that several times. So we have to really consider what scientists say, considering who they are beholden to. Considering who they are beholden to. It's not the old days where you'd have like a Nikola Tesla and some of the other scientists who had private funding and didn't have to answer to anyone. These scientists, they work for the government, they work for corporations. Those are their bosses. That's who they're working for. Their research is protected by the law. And whatever they want to put out there is what they'll put out there. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. They're protected by the law. So people say, well, the science shows this, the science shows that. not all the science is made available. So you really have to use discernment, which comes from the soul, which comes from being really connected to yourself, so that you're not confused. So to get back to the subject of chemtrails, come to find out, I read an article earlier this year that Harvard University is now coming up with a degree in environmental geoengineering, particularly geoengineering of the skies. And they are now, I've just read an article, I'm going to post it down in the link below, that they're coming out with an experiment where they're going to take particulates and place them in an hot air balloon, put them up in the sky to see how well they deflect the sun's rays so as to cut down on global warming. That was the reason. First of all, the reason, oh, those are not contrails. The government or the company line was, those are not contrails. Those are the vapors coming out from the planes. They're not contrails at all. And then I read earlier this year, you can do this research, an article of the government coming out, the FAA, particularly the Air Force. Oh, we are spraying the skies because we're doing so, and we've been doing so since 2013. Well, I saw evidence of it since 2006, and many of you probably have evidence of it happening well before then. Oh, we've been doing this since 2013 in hopes of, preventing or curtailing global warming. Now they're coming around 2017 and they're using their high, level of academia and schools, such as Harvard, MIT. Over in England, they're doing studies over at Oxford or Cambridge. I forget which one, but probably both of them. So everyone thinks, oh, this is respectable. This is respectable. Look at the schools that are doing this. Look at the academic acumen of people and universities that are involved in this. They're all owned by the people who have been doing this to us all the time. All of them, all the CEOs, all the elected officials and high levels of government, they're all, those are all their alma maters. They all go to school. They're good old boys. They all know each other. They go to those places. Don't fall for that either. Don't fall for that either. But anyway, so I'm reading about this experiment that they're carrying out. So this is the go-around for all the people that they've ridiculed, calling conspiracy theories, when these people aren't conspiracy theorists at all. They aren't. They're canaries in the coal mine telling us of something that's going on. So the workaround is to bring it through academia and pretend like it hasn't been happening, and all the while in the past they've denied it completely. Because if it's showing up as an experiment in some university, it's just a way of getting you to consent to it. And the big thing that you should always learn about any of these things that they're doing is that you should remove your consent from every single bit of it. There is something that happens when you, as a human being, remove your consent from something. If enough people do it, it just simply can't happen. It simply can't. Or if it has already happened, the seeds of its solutions are already sown, and that solution will start to appear once the collective consciousness decides they no longer want it. It's very important to remove your consent. Don't ignore it. If you're not going to do anything, just with your mind, remove your consent from all this that is happening. It does not serve us. There is a ripple effect that goes on in the universe. So that's very important. Very important. Remove your consent from this. Because there is an agenda that is not seen on your TV screen, not heard on your radio. And people that bring that to the attention of humanity, I'm not saying believe everything you hear. Listen to the message and look for proof of it. If you're looking, you'll find it. Because there are some laws here. Nothing can be done without it being revealed. Nothing can be placed into existence, no problem, without the seeds of its solution sown right within it. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely. It just will not be allowed to exist. And this is the type of knowledge that we have to really start embodying. Because those who wish to keep us down, those who wish to keep us as sheep, those who wish to keep us as fodder for war and destruction and hate, they know all of this and they use it against us all the time. So it's time for us to get wise, to become wise to this, and not think of it as mumbo jumbo, or not buy or buy into the name calling and the ridicule to keep you from seeing, to keep you in the prison of your own mind, so that you march a lockstep and do as you're told. Okay, so consider this, and always remember the power that you contain within you. And please continue to defy the taboo from you finding out about who you really are. Thank you.